We present to you people that are rich, and you hear straight from their lips how they became rich. This is because we want you to get rich and stay rich. And getting rich and staying rich is easy if you learn from someone that is rich. Someone that has been rich for a long time. And who is the best person to teach us how to get rich and stay rich, if not Bishop David Oyedepo, founder and president of Living Faith Church Worldwide. He was named in 2011 by Forbes as the richest pastor in Nigeria, with an estimated net worth of $150 million. With 4 private jets, 2 universities, churches all around the world, Bishop David Oyedepo's wealth is evident for all to see. And in this video, we will hear straight from his lips financial lessons he used in getting all his wealth. You don't need to be a pastor to understand these financial lessons. These financial lessons are easy to understand and applicable to everybody, even if you are not a pastor. This is because money does not answer to titles. Money answers to obeying financial principles. Bishop David Oyedepo is from Omuaran, Irepodun local government area of Kwara State in western Nigeria. He is happily married to Mrs. Faith Oyedepo and has 4 children. Before you are named the richest pastor in Nigeria, it means that you understand money. So Bishop David Oyedepo definitely has financial lessons to teach us. But before I continue, hope you didn't miss my video, 10 financial lessons from Mrs. Ibukun Awosika, the first female chairman of the First Bank of Nigeria Limited. Welcome to Securities Uduk's Vlogs, your online resource for high quality information on how to live your best life. Subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our videos. Straight from the lips of the richest pastor in Nigeria, these are 10 financial lessons from Bishop David Oyedepo. Number 1.
You don't grow big to manage well. You manage well to grow big.
You don't grow big to manage well. You manage well to grow big. Bishop David Oyedepo did not come from money. His parents were not rich, and money was not handed down to him. All the money he currently has is a result of his good management. Bishop David Oyedepo once said that before his father died, he told his father not to include him, Bishop David Oyedepo, when sharing his properties, that he does not need it. This shows that he has perfect understanding of financial principles, and his decision is good advice for brothers and sisters that fight themselves over their parents' properties when their parents die. Bishop David Oyedepo told his father he does not need any of his properties when he dies, that his father can give his properties to his other siblings. So money wasn't handed down to him by his parents. He got everything by himself in partnership with God and good management. You don't grow big to manage well. You manage well to grow big. You need good time management, good resource management, good money management to grow what you have from small to big. Live within your means. Resist the temptation to show off. Have a budget. Have reserved capital. Focus on the things that matter. Be prudent. Close up financial leakages. These are good management principles that will make your wealth grow. Number 2.
I prefer to learn how to get it than have someone give it to me.
I prefer to learn how to get it than have someone give it to me. Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach him how to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. Many people that are not rich have entitlement mentality. That is why they can't get rich. They see rich people and think rich people owe them. Nobody owes you, so get to work. Refuse to be perpetually dependent on people. Work on yourself and become valuable and break free from entitlement mentality. Have the mentality of being a giver instead of the mentality of being a receiver. Entitlement mentality will cripple you. Opportunities to make money will be presented before you and you will not be able to utilize it because you are waiting for handouts from people. Entitlement mentality will make you live a frustrated life. You will constantly be jealous of people, and this jealousy will then lead to hatred, which will then lead to crime. Because when you are expecting someone to give you handouts and the person refuses to do so and you feel entitled, you may resort to criminal means to vent your anger. The high rate of stealing, fraud, kidnapping, etc. we have in our society is because many people have an entitlement mentality. You can learn how to get rich through YouTube videos and also by studying rich people from afar. Instead of waiting for handouts from rich people, tell them to teach you how to get rich. Just as Bishop David Oyedepo said, I prefer to learn how to get it than have someone give it to me. You don't become rich by depending on handouts. You become rich by becoming valuable. Number 3.
A life void of order can never make progress.
A life void of order can never make progress. In order to have something for a long time, you need to create an enabling environment for that thing. If you want butterflies, create a garden. If you want birds, plant trees. If you want money, have order in your life. A life of chaos, an unstable life, is a recipe for poverty. The fact that we have the term financial stability should tell you that there is no finance without stability. There is no finance without order. Disorder in any area of your life will affect your finances. Chaos in your environment, in your marriage, in your workplace can negatively affect your finances. Having order in your life means that you organize your life to produce the outcome you desire. And if the outcome is getting rich, it means you stay away from anything that causes disorder in your life. This also includes organizing your house in an orderly way. Remove clutter from your house. Clean up your house. Organizing your house will go a long way in creating order in your life. Organize your family. Practice family planning. Don't give birth to children you cannot take care of. Organize your finances. Don't spend as you go. Spend as you plan. Number 4.
Self-discipline is a requirement for outstanding accomplishment in life.
Self-discipline is a requirement for outstanding accomplishment in life. The presence of an abundance of money in your life gives you boundless possibilities. And these boundless possibilities also includes destructive activities. You want to drink and get drunk, you can afford it. You want to take hard drugs, you can afford it. You want to sleep with all the women you want, you can afford it. It takes self-discipline, which is self-control, to be able to resist the seductive power that money has to tempt you to self-destruction. That is why you need self-discipline as a fundamental requirement for building wealth. Self-discipline is the ability to control yourself and to make yourself work hard and behave in a particular way without needing anyone else to tell you what to do. It is the ability to push yourself forward, stay motivated, and take action regardless of how you feel physically and emotionally. In order to have self-discipline, remove temptations from your environment. Focus on your goals. Surround yourself with people that are disciplined. There is a book by Ryan Holiday called Discipline is Destiny. From the title of the book, it already tells us that without discipline, you don't have a destiny. Without discipline, you cannot get to your destination of financial abundance. Number 5.
It's not enough to see the future you desire to see. It's important to be willing to pay the price to realize it.
It's important to pay the price. Everything comes with a price. The price of having a lot of money is spending time and money to learn and understand financial principles, and then you apply those principles in your life. These financial principles will not fall from the sky and land on your lap. You have to go out of your way and get it. Once you have the price it takes to purchase anything, you just pay the price and it is given to you. So if you are not living a life of financial abundance, it means you have not yet paid the price. To be able to live a life of financial abundance, you need to pay the price of unbending focus. You need to pay the price of totally surrendering to God, because the gold and the silver belongs to God, and He gives it to those that are surrendered to Him. You need to pay the price of disciplining yourself to conform to the terms and conditions of financial abundance. Number 6.
Enjoy instructions. The Bible is not a book of opinions, it's a book of instructions.
Enjoy instructions. Bishop David Oyedepo has said, "We walk by common sense, we run by principles, but we fly by instructions." You can drive a car by common sense, but you can never fly a plane by common sense. You can only fly a plane by instructions. The pilot gets regular instructions from the air traffic control tower on the flight movements. The moment the pilot refuses to get instructions from the air traffic control tower, the pilot's plane can collide with another plane. That is why the pilot always has to heed to the instructions of the air traffic control tower. To have financial abundance, you always have to heed to the instructions of God, else you will collide with destruction or poverty. So just like flying a plane, if you want to be a high flyer, if you want to move with speed in your life, you need to enjoy instructions. If you want to live in a 1-bedroom mini flat and drive a Toyota Corolla, you can get them with your common sense. But if you want to have a private jet, live in a mansion, drive a Rolls Royce, you will need more than your common sense. There is a level of wealth you can get with just using your common sense. Because at that level of enormous wealth, you will also have enormous influence. Because enormous wealth carries enormous influence. You will need to abide by the instructions of God to be able to wield that influence. So before God introduces you to that level of influence, He will need to be sure that you can wield the power that enormous money and enormous influence provides before He introduces you to it. You need to enjoy the instructions of God, because money only answers to the instructions of God. Number 7.
We could not, by our own law, go beyond 30% overhead. You destroy the future of the organization.
We could not go beyond 30% overhead. You need to have savings and emergency funds, which acts as a shock absorber that immunes you from the shocks of life. If you have an accident now that makes you unable to work for a year, do you have emergency funds to use and treat yourself? And do you have savings that will last you for a year until you get back on your feet? Once you don't have savings and emergency funds, you are at the mercy of life eventualities. Opportunities to invest and make more money come, and you are stranded because you don't have savings in place to invest. The rich operate by a set of different rules from the poor. It is obeying this law of savings and emergency funds that makes the rich richer and the poor poorer. Like Bishop David Oyedepo said, that he uses 30% overhead. If you happen to make 1 million now, for example, use 300,000 naira, which is 30% for your overhead cost, and use 700,000 naira for your savings and emergency funds. Do this regularly and you will live in a life of perpetual financial abundance. Number 8.
Prosperity belongs to workers. It blesses the works of our hands.
Prosperity belongs to workers. God says that He will bless the work of your hands, not the wishes of your heart. So if you are not working, God has nothing to bless. Just as Bishop David Oyedepo do say, there is nothing in doing nothing. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your heart. Prosperity is for workers because through slothfulness, a building decays. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep, so shall your poverty come on you like a prowler, and your need like an armed man. Seest thou a man diligent in his business, he shall stand before kings, he shall not stand before mean men. All these scriptures shows us that prosperity belongs to workers. Wanting something for nothing will not give you prosperity. Working also protects you from distractions because an idle man is the devil's workshop. Rich people work a lot. So if you want to be rich, you have to be ready to work because prosperity belongs to workers. Number 9.
It's not what you said that blesses you. He said it's the blessings of the Lord, not the sales you make. It's the blessings of the Lord that make it rich, not the profession you belong to.
It is not what you sell that blesses you. It is the blessings of the Lord. The blessings of the Lord make it rich, and He adds no sorrow with it. You do your work, God blesses your work, and it equals to riches. Just working without God's blessings is equal to financial struggles. Having God's blessings and not working equals to financial frustration. So you need both, to work and to have God's blessings. Why you need God's blessings is because God's blessings comes with protection. So if a person is just working without having God's blessings, the person can make money, for example, today, and one trailer will fall on him 1 month after, and he dies and leaves the money. That is why you need God's blessings, because you cannot see future problems, and God's blessings will protect you from many problems. We have a high rate of ritual killings in Nigeria because some people want shortcuts to make money. Some people want something for nothing. Unfortunately, the only route to making money is the one God has recommended: work and blessings. Every other route comes with sorrows. Instead of living a life of sorrows, why not shift to a life of blessings? Number 10.
Prosperity answers only to covenant practice. It has no respect for prayer. It does not recognize fasting.
Prosperity answers to covenant practices. It has no respect for prayer. It does not recognize fasting. There are up to 10 laws that you need to engage simultaneously and regularly that lead to prosperity. The law of environment is a part of this law. The law of association is a part of this law. The law of mental transformation is a part of this law, etc. Among these laws, we also have the law of tithing and the law of giving. Tithing and giving are the covenant practices that Bishop David Oyedepo is talking about.
Therefore, bring ye all the tithes to the storehouse, that may be meat in my house, and prove me now herewith, if I will not open you the windows of heaven. It is the law of giving and receiving that launches you into the kingdom economic boom.
Covenant practices are doing things that God has told you to do, as stated in the Bible, that makes God committed to your prosperity. Primarily, tithing and giving. Tithing gives you open heaven, and when you have open heaven, you are able to partner with God and His angels to get rich and stay rich. Tithing positively affects all areas of your life. your finances, your health, your family, etc. Tithing protects you from the devourer. It gives you God's protection. Giving, on the other hand, activates the law of reciprocity. And when this law of reciprocity is activated, men are compelled to give back to you multiplied. That means that tithing brings heaven to you and giving brings men to you. So you need both, because God will not do what a man should do, and man will not be able to do what only God can do. So you need both tithing and giving. Some people argue that pastors preach about tithing because they want the money. The money you pay as tithe belongs to God, not your pastor. So you don't need to worry about how the money you gave your pastor is being spent by your pastor. How your pastor uses the money you gave for tithe is between him and God. It doesn't concern you. Do your part and leave the rest to God. Remember that when you give tithe, you are not giving to God. The gold and silver already belongs to God. So you are not giving God anything that he doesn't already own. You are giving tithe for your protection and as a system in place that ensures accountability and proof of good management of the money God has put in your stewardship. Remember that you are not the owner of the money in your possession. You are a steward and God is the owner of the money. The founder of JCPenney was taught by his parents to tithe, and he tithed, and God made his store, JCPenney, to become a big store with stores all around America. But after some time, he stopped tithing and his store crashed financially. He began tithing again and his store bounced back financially. Tithing is a spiritual law, so you won't be able to understand how it works physically. You can argue with opinions, but you cannot argue with results. Bishop David Oyedepo has stated many times that he is an addicted tither, and he has 4 private jets, 2 universities, churches around the world to show for it. Bishop David Oyedepo is not rich because he is a pastor collecting tithes and offerings from his church members. There are many pastors that are collecting tithes and offerings that are not rich. There are many people that don't collect tithes and offerings that are very rich. He is rich because he is obeying financial principles. And if you also obey these financial principles, you too will be rich. You have made it to the end of the video, so you win a bonus point. Number 11.
They don't use food to name it, they use mouth.
They don't use food to name a child, they use mouth. Bishop David Oyedepo made this statement after he narrated that he used chin-chin for his second son's naming ceremony. He narrated that to explain that you need to focus on the things that matter. We live in a society of pre-wedding studio pictures, baby bomb studio pictures, show-off culture. Many people don't focus on the things that matter. They focus on the things that has no bearing on the result they want to achieve. What bearing does snapping pre-wedding studio pictures have to a lasting marriage, especially to those that are struggling financially? Focus on the things that matter. Focus on the things that has a direct impact on the outcome you want to achieve. This is what separates the rich from the poor. I hope this video was valuable to you. Write in the comment section the person you want us to present financial lessons from. Do you want us to present financial lessons from Mr. Tony Elumelu, Chairman of the United Bank for Africa, UBA Bank? Or do you want us to present financial lessons from Mrs. Foloronsho Alakija, the richest black woman in Africa? Or do you want us to present financial lessons from Apostle Joshua Selman, the founder of the Eternity Network International, ENI? We will present financial lessons from the person with the highest demand in our comment section. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to watch my video, 10 Financial Lessons from Mrs. Ibukun Awosika, the first female chairman of the First Bank of Nigeria Limited. I will see you in that video. Take care.